Imagine a seemingly ordinary mother, a woman who appeared to embody love and care. Now, picture this same woman standing trial for a crime so heinous, it shocks an entire community.
The biggest question I ask is why? Why did she do these things?
This is the story of Stacey Castor, a woman who, behind the facade of a doting mother, harbored dark secrets that would unravel in a chilling tale of betrayal and manipulation. Stay tuned as we delve into the depths of this case, revealing shocking truths and untold secrets that will leave you speechless.
Stacy lived in New York, and she'd be like, you know what? It's kinda cold. Maybe you should get some antifreeze into you.
Stacey Castor's story begins innocently enough, a mother of two living a seemingly normal life in upstate New York. Stacy's life seemed to follow a typical trajectory. She married her first husband, Michael Wallace, and together they had two daughters, Ashley and Bree. However, tragedy struck in 2000 when Michael passed away unexpectedly, reportedly due to a heart attack.
Was Michael Wallace. She was introduced to him at age 17 in 1985 by some friends. She would call him, what else? The love of her life.
On the surface, Michael's death appeared to be a result of natural causes attributed to a heart attack. However, suspicions arose when an autopsy revealed an alarming presence of ethylene glycol, a key ingredient in antifreeze, in his system. This discovery sparked a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding his untimely demise. The investigation took a significant turn when forensic analysis of Michael's computer revealed a draft of a suicide note purportedly written by him. The note painted a grim picture of his mental state and hinted at his intention to end his own life. However, further scrutiny revealed inconsistencies in the note's content and writing style, casting doubt on its authenticity. As the dust settled from the investigation into Michael Wallace's death, Stacey Castor's life took yet another tragic turn with the demise of her second husband, David Castor. The circumstances surrounding David's death bore a striking resemblance to those of Michael's, raising red flags among investigators. Like Michael, David was found to have high levels of ethylene glycol in his system, pointing to antifreeze poisoning as the cause of death. As the investigation progressed, forensic experts uncovered a wealth of incriminating evidence, including traces of antifreeze in a Gatorade bottle found in David's possession. This, coupled with testimonies from witnesses and Stacey's questionable behavior, painted a fine picture of her involvement in David's death. As investigators delved deeper, they uncovered a chilling revelation. Stacey had purchased antifreeze on the day of Michael's death. Suspicion deepened when it was discovered that Stacey had purchased antifreeze on the day of David's death as well. Furthermore, witnesses came forward alleging that she had attempted to poison Michael on multiple occasions prior to his death. One witness, a close friend of Stacey's, recounted a disturbing incident where she had confided in him about her desire to kill her husband. She allegedly confessed to lacing his drinks with antifreeze, hoping to end his life and collect on his life insurance policy. One particularly damning piece of evidence was a forged will, purportedly written by David, that surfaced after his death. The will left all of David's assets to Stacey, further fueling suspicions of foul play. Forensic analysis revealed inconsistencies in the document, suggesting that it was not authentic. But the extent of Stacey's deception and cruelty was far from over, as her sinister plan took an even darker turn. Stacey Castor attempted to frame her own daughter, Ashley Wallace, for one of the deaths.
Even though I do hate her, I still love her at the same time. That bothers me. It's so confusing. How can you hate someone and love them at the same time?
On Ashley's first day of college, her world was turned upside down when investigators informed her that her father, Michael Wallace, had not died of a heart attack as she had believed. He had been poisoned with antifreeze, just like David Castor. The revelation was incomprehensible to Ashley, who couldn't reconcile the idea of her mother, her supposed best friend, committing such heinous acts. When confronted by the police, Ashley adamantly defended her mother, convinced of her innocence. However, Stacy, feeling the walls closing in, concocted a diabolical plan to silence Ashley and protect herself. Under the guise of emotional distress, Stacy invited Ashley to have drinks together, exploiting their mother-daughter relationship to gain Ashley's trust. Little did Ashley know the drinks were laced with a cocktail of substances intended to incapacitate her. After consuming the drinks, Ashley passed out, only to awaken the next day with a severe hangover, unaware of what had transpired. Oblivious to her mother's treachery, Ashley accepted another invitation to drink with Stacy the following evening, a decision that nearly cost her life. On that fateful evening, after consuming the poisoned drinks, Ashley began to experience severe symptoms, prompting Stacy to call 911. However, it was Ashley's sister Bree who ultimately saved her life by insisting on calling for help. Upon regaining consciousness, Ashley was confronted with a letter found in her room, purportedly written by her, confessing to the murders of both her father and stepfather, as well as her intent to take her own life. The letter, however, was a fabrication by Stacy, who was desperate to cover her tracks and frame Ashley for the crimes. As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that Stacy had meticulously planned the murders and the framing of Ashley. Despite her denials and attempts to shift blame, the evidence against Stacy was overwhelming. Stacy maintained her innocence, claiming that Michael had taken his own life. However, the overwhelming evidence against her painted a different picture. The courtroom was tense as Stacy Castor, the woman accused of a string of heinous crimes, stood trial for the murder of her second husband David Castor and the attempted murder of her own daughter Ashley Wallace. The prosecution's case was built on a mountain of evidence, painting a chilling portrait of a woman driven by greed and deceit. As the trial unfolded, the prosecution methodically presented its case, revealing the extent of Stacy's deception and manipulation. The courtroom was gripped by the details of a calculated plan to eliminate anyone who stood in her way. The prosecution presented several drafts of the forged suicide note found on Stacy's computer, meticulously written during a time when Ashley was away at college. The note was a key piece of evidence, suggesting premeditation and malice aforethought in her attempt to frame Ashley for the murders. To further bolster their case, the prosecution highlighted the incongruences in Stacy's story, pointing out her changing narratives and blatant lies. They questioned her about the timing of events, revealing inconsistencies that cast doubt on her credibility. One of the most damning pieces of evidence was the timing of the forged suicide note. It was determined that the note had been generated prior to the time when Ashley had informed Stacy that the police had visited her at school. This revelation shattered Stacy's defense, exposing her attempts to manipulate the truth. Throughout the trial, Stacy remained defiant, often responding with, "I don't know," or "I didn't say that," to avoid incriminating herself further. However, the prosecution's relentless questioning and presentation of evidence left little room for doubt. In a dramatic turn of events, the prosecution revealed that Stacy had hired a private investigator to dig into Ashley's past, hoping to find something incriminating. This desperate attempt to shift blame only served to highlight how far Stacy was willing to go to cover her tracks. After 3 weeks of intense proceedings, the jury deliberated and delivered a verdict. Stacey Castor was found guilty of second-degree murder for the death of David Castor and attempted murder for her actions against Ashley Wallace. Stacy was sentenced to 25 years to life for the murder of David Castor and an additional 25 years for the attempted murder of Ashley Wallace. Stacy's sentencing marked the end of one chapter and the beginning of another, as she was escorted from the courtroom to begin her sentence. But her time behind bars would be plagued by questions and rumors, casting a shadow over her final years. As Stacy settled into life in prison, rumors began to swirl about the circumstances of her death. Some speculated that she had met a fitting end, while others suggested a more sinister explanation. On June 11, 2016, Stacey Castor was found dead in her prison cell. The official cause of death was ruled to be a heart attack, but questions lingered about the true nature of her passing. Some believed that she had finally succumbed to the guilt and shame of her crimes, while others suspected foul play. In the wake of Stacy's death, her legacy lived on, haunting those who had been touched by her crimes. For her daughters, Ashley and Bree, the scars of their mother's betrayal would never fully heal, leaving them to grapple with the aftermath of her actions. For Ashley, the loss of her mother brought a mix of emotions. Despite the pain and betrayal, there was also a sense of closure, knowing that Stacy could no longer harm anyone else. Bree, on the other hand, struggled to come to terms with the truth about her mother, grappling with the realization that the woman she had loved and trusted was capable of such darkness. Their mother's crimes left a trail of destruction in their wake, forever altering the lives of those who had the misfortune of crossing her path.